Hey folks, and thanks for watching another You Sold What video. Hey, today we have a special topic. We're going to get into something I've not experienced yet before. And so today's topic is, what do you mean you didn't receive it? But before we go there, let's go ahead and look at a couple sales that were two of our better sales for last week. We're looking at October 1st through the 7th. So let's go ahead and get into that. First up here, looks like we had a 60% profit margin. We profited $21, and that is less the cost of goods, which was very low, which always we do pretty well when our cost of goods are that low. So let's go ahead and see what that item was. We'll capture that SKU. We'll go into Vendu, and let's bring that up. And this was a Levi Strauss men's jacket. It's a medium size, and it's not a leather, it is a cotton. Wouldn't call it a shacket. Not sure what the style of this is, but it is a zipper. It has cotton. I don't know a whole lot about it. Did pretty well on it though, as usual. Let me go back up. Sorry for all the scrolling. Do have the measurements in the listing, or photographed. The inside, all the tags, and the title with the applicable features, as well as the brand and what it is. Our standard description. And up here, it did sell. We listed it September 15th, and we sold it on the 4th, October 4th. Total price was $35. That did include the shipping. Still walked away with a profit of $21. So, all right, I think that does it for that one. Let's go ahead and go back to our sheet here. And the next best that we have is this J603DG. Let's go ahead, and it's a pair of pants. Looks a pair of Catherine's. It's a plus size, 28. Is new with tags. The did sell on Mercari on the 7th, after being listed since June. The price was $24 plus the buyer paid shipping. The shipping did not come out of the purchase price, so we profited $19 on that. You can see the marketplace fees. Pretty good sale on Mercari. I do enjoy those. The marketplace fees are a lot less, and when the buyer is paying for the Mercari shipping, we just have to worry about recouping our cost and obviously trying to get a little profit, which we did there. And I think that about does it there. All right. Before we get too far down the road, before we get into the new experience, let's go ahead and bring up our Vendu analytics. We're looking at October 1st through the 7th. Once again, we did sell 41 items. We only listed 25, so a little upside down on the sales. That's okay. We cleared out some older items. Our revenue was $673, and of that we get to keep $324. And of course, no, we don't get to put all of that in our pocket. We got to pay some taxes. We'll have to pay some other business expenses. But as far as the cost to sell the item, to ship the item, to purchase the item, those have all been deducted, and that's what we have left to pay our business bills, if you will. If anybody cares, eBay was the again, eBay generated the most revenue. There we go. And then, as well as profit, the marketplaces, eBay being the highest average sale price. Of course, that's because it includes shipping. Number of items sold. I think we're looking at eBay is about 60% of all of our sales. The remaining 40 is on other platforms. So definitely can't dismiss the other platforms. I'll take those sales. Last week, Old Navy was the best brand that we sold, or the majority of the items sold were branded Old Navy, Izod, AB Studio, Airwalk, that was a pair of shoes, and then American Eagle. Again, tops being the larger of our sales, or the I guess the greatest volume of our sales, with jeans being next, and then suits and separates. We have sold some vintage skirt suits, and we sold those on Etsy. That would be this here. So that's what the week numbers look like. And as far as our budget's concerned, this is the breakdown on average of all of our sales is 57% is net. So that's what we're keeping. That is not less or not. We are not deducting the cost of goods sold from that. So that is just minus or less the platform fees, promotional fees, and shipping costs. And this would be our shipping, and this is our platform fees, and then these are our ad campaigns or promotional fees, if you will. So we take out all of our business expenses, and we're still needing about almost $1,200 yet for the month. So we'll keep an eye on that number, see if we make it, see if we better it. All right, let's pull up our agenda. We haven't brought that up. We did take care of our sale amounts last week. We took a look at our budget. We did look at, we didn't look at Terapeak. I think we'll forego that this time. I think we'll spend a little more time on this guy right here. This guy right here was an eBay sale, and I have not had the pleasure of getting, I have not had the pleasure of this experience yet. All right, so we sold a boxer craft, no big deal, right? This is a long sleeve t-shirt. It's a large, it's a men's, and we shipped it. We sold it on the 29th. We shipped it on the 30th, which I believe was a Saturday. Which we don't have to ship on Saturday, but if I have items to ship, I will go ahead and ship those out on Saturday. So this one did ship on the 30th. Made a pretty decent profit on that. But we ended up getting one of these. Where is it at? A item not received case was opened up on us for that item. Wow, never seen that before. I've not had the opportunity or the pleasure to deal with one of those, but lo and behold, there it is. So again, I'm just getting into this, figuring out what we're going to do. Kind of have an idea, and we'll explore that a little bit, what's on my mind. But when you do click on that, you're greeted with this page here. You'll want to go into manage your buyer's requests and disputes, And then lo and behold, there's that boxer craft comes up, and it says the buyer reported their item hasn't arrived. Really? Okay. So then you have these options here. You can send a message, you can update the tracking, and then you can refund the buyer. Okay, I don't know why I'd want to just jump to that right away. So here you have these options. You can go in and look at the order. You can look at who the buyer was, yada yada yada. So it does say that I have to respond to this by Friday the 13th, so the end of this week. So buyer message says it was delivered but haven't received it. I don't know what to even think about that, right? I was under the impression that my obligation is to pick the item, pack the item, label it, and hand it to the post office. They scan it, and I'm done, right? Guess that's not the case. I did check the tracking on it, and it was, you can see on the 30th that UPS was in possession of the item. At 11 o'clock, it did depart the post office. It went through the UPS or USPS facility in Des Moines. It departed Des Moines. It was in transit. It was processed through USPS in Brooklyn, New York. Arrived at a unit in Brooklyn. Was out for delivery, and then it was delivered in or at the mailbox in Brooklyn, New York on October 4th at 6:05 p.m. So they got the item, right? But they say they don't. So what am I going to do? I don't know. I don't know just yet. I did send a message to the buyer. I've not yet heard a response. This was sent last night, so we'll see. I'll give it a couple days. But I say good evening. I was recently informed by eBay that your package has not arrived. USPS tracking shows it was scanned as delivered to your address on the 4th, but it seems you have not actually received it. I understand that this can be troubling and will work with you to resolve this issue. My first thought is perhaps it was delivered to your neighbor. Would you be able to check with them? I will, in the meantime, inquire with the post office, and I will keep you informed of my findings. Thank you. Well, I don't think there's a whole lot that can be done. My post office says, hey, well, I haven't obviously talked to the post office. Today is a holiday. It is Columbus Day, so I'll have a brief discussion with them but I'm pretty sure because they scanned it that in their mind they're done with it as well. So it's either a loss to eBay, well, it's either a loss to the buyer, or it's a loss to me, or it's a loss to eBay. Somebody's got to pay for the shipping on that, or for the item. I can I'm pretty sure it's not going to be eBay. eBay's not going to take this, right? It's not their fault. They're a platform that that facilitates us to sell items. They're not in this, back and forth between you and the customer. They'd rather just stay out of it. And I'm afraid, based on past experience, if I call them and they step in, they will record a defect against my account as that they had to resolve this issue, that I couldn't do it on my own. And that defect is a lot bigger deal to me than, because it's potentially, it could affect my standing as a top-rated seller. So I really don't want to mess with eBay is not going to be of any help to me. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. I get the items scanned on time. I'm prompt in responding to customers. I'm prompt in shipping items. I mean, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. But you're going to run into this, and I've heard it so many times before, and I'm going to roll my eyes, right? That it's just the cost of doing business. Well, yeah, I get it, but somebody has to pay for it, and I get it. It's a very, very small amount, and I didn't pay much for it. The shipping label wasn't much, but how many times can you do this before it does hurt, and it impacts the bottom line? So anyway, the buyer's not going to walk away from it. They want their money back. They claim they don't have it. It's hard for me to not believe I'm being scammed. I just can't see that the post office would scan it as delivered, but not actually deliver it. That just doesn't make sense to me. So either A, the buyer's lying, B, somebody stole it, C, it was delivered to a different address and they just decided to keep it, or perhaps they're going to be a good neighbor and give it back. I know here at the house, we'll get our neighbors from time to time, occasionally we'll get our neighbors' mail. And whether I know them or not, I'll walk it over to them, knock on their door, hand them their mail. It's the neighborly thing to do. I don't know. Maybe in Brooklyn, New York, they're different. I don't know. We'll see. A couple more days, and then we'll decide what to do. And I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna eat it. I'll refund the buyer both the shipping as well as the purchase, and then just write it off at the end of the year, right? What can you do? So anyway, I thought that was my first experience. Thought I would share. If anything surprising comes out of it, I'll be sure to update y'all. I'm sure you'll be waiting with bated breath to find out what happens here. Yeah, so that's what I have there. I should say, I had mentioned that my previous experience or past experience with eBay, and this was before I offered free returns. I sold and shipped a pair of jeans. The jeans were the buyer had opened a return case and returned the jeans. Not very long after that I got the message that they returned that they had shipped the item. I also got a message from them that says, I think I sent you the wrong jeans. Oh, crap. Seriously? The wrong jeans. How can you do that? I guess it happens. Anyway, so I got the jeans, and sure enough, they were the same brand, but they were a different cut, a different style. You could look at the tags, and the tags that I received, I forget what the manufacturing company or country was, but it was different than what I had pictured in the original listing. So they were definitely a different pair of jeans, and in my opinion, they were a lesser quality. They didn't have the embellishment on the back pockets that I had originally sent. So that was weird. I was like, well, I don't know what to do, so I had simply called eBay for direction. Don't do that. Don't do that. Their direction is refund the buyer in full. So they got the original shipping back plus the purchase price back. So I got nothing, right? And basically, you're lucky you got a pair of jeans back. I suppose I got something back. But then, and then as a thank you very much and for all my hard work, and I got a defect, right? Because they stepped in and they had to resolve the issue. So that's still on my account. I'm bitter about it, as you can tell. So I don't recommend calling eBay to resolve these. You just better to eat it, and that's what I'm gonna have to do. And I really, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't have much anything more to say on that. We'll get over it. It's not going to kill us. Hey, I think that about does it here. So we do. I did want to mention that we do some other videos. I do a Know Your Numbers on Sundays, and I get into more of it's more of a financial progress report. Where are we to date for the month to date, and how does that compare to prior years? So that's interesting. If you're into that sort of content, I would encourage you to look at that. And then Are We There Yet? I do that series on Thursdays, and that's more looking into more issues like this. I just couldn't wait to tell you about this one, so I incorporated it into this video. But Are We There Yet goes more into strategies that we're implementing, maybe different sales or platforms that we're selling on, whatever. It's more of a business related type video. So I hope to see you in some of those. But until then, my name is Rich, and I thank you for your time.